Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is the 3rd of January, 2025. Can you believe it? 2025. It's like I'm in the future, something like that. So yeah, welcome. We're gonna take a look at the charts. We're gonna jump right in. Okay, so come to algofactory.tech if you want to learn about what we do, about how we understand how to predict these charts. And we'll talk about that later. For now, let's take a look at this higher low that this video is entitled, right? So right where this arrow is, you're gonna see a higher low. What does that mean? Okay, well, first of all these arrows I drew were forecasts, right? And they're relatively accurate. The farther out a forecast goes, the less accurate it becomes. And on Sundays, I make a video and I forecast out about a week, like 5 days, usually through Friday or the following Saturday, more or less. So this one was pretty accurate. This last one that was from 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to go ahead and code that blue because we're going to make new forecasts over the weekend. And then this yellow was this week's forecast, and it looks like we have a break above. So it was pretty accurate for a minute, and then we found a higher low right here, which invalidated this lower move so far. Now, it doesn't mean that's not going to happen. It doesn't mean price can't turn around and head down. But yesterday, I added these yellow dotted lines, and I did not make them solid. Right. So the more you watch this show, the more you can't talk. The more you watch this show, the more you're going to understand my notation. And that means that these yellow lines are my midweek kind of forecasts. So but come Sunday, you'll see solid yellow lines talking about what I think will happen the coming week. So why do I think that this sort of reddish line that I drew last Sunday, 5 days ago, why do I think that might be invalidated? Because we had what looks like a higher low. So let's zoom in on this. And I'm going to use just for ease of understanding, I'm going to use a white arrow here so we can see what I mean by that. You had price make this low. It's not white yet. We're going to fix it. So let's do that first. Let's make this white. Delete it. Okay, so price made its way down from way up here. And instead of heading down like this, which is what I more or less thought it was going to happen, right? I thought it would maybe turn a little sooner than it really did, but it came down and made this low right here, a higher low, and then it continued up. So instead of heading down like I thought it might do, it bounced here and headed up. And anytime you see a possible bottom with a possible higher low, that's bullish. So let's go ahead and draw what that means up here to make it easier to see and understand. When you have price kind of in this consolidation area, price is bouncing up and down like this, more or less, right? And then you have a low here. Now, yesterday I did say that this low looked like that might be the low for Bitcoin. That was at about 91,700, and that happened a couple of days ago. And then yesterday I said, that might be the low. Now, I thought it was going to go like this, right, originally. But again, 2 days ago, I'm like, yeah, that might be the low. It might not go any deeper than this. I did say that, but I did have a possible contingency of a move down. The original prediction from 5 days ago was a move down. And in the interest of honesty, I did not delete that. I just made new predictions. So the old prediction from 5 days ago did have a move down past that low. But again, 2 days ago, I'm like, it might be the low. And what we had was a higher low right here, right? So it made a new low, but that low is higher than this prior low. And that tends to be bullish as long as there are some other considerations on the chart besides what this price action is showing. And those other considerations for me are algorithmic, right? So what I do is I look at a multi-time frame analysis. And I look at all this data at the bottom of the screen, all these lines, graphs, and all that stuff. And I use that information to say, okay, you know what? We might be seeing Bitcoin coming to a point where it's ready to head up. Now, we don't know for sure yet. I haven't seen what I need to see quite yet to be 100% confident that it's going to continue up. But at this point, I am better than 50-50 that 91,500, whatever that number was, roughly 91,005 was the low. However, we could see price continue down. We could see price kind of drop here, come back down, and that just remains to be seen. So right now, I'm 60-40, 60 in favor of price having hit that low, which means that the rest of crypto may head up and do well. And that is let's just say we're getting clues that that's the case by looking at some of the rest of crypto, in particular Solana. Solana's giving us clues. Now, this prediction, darn accurate, at least half of it. I had Bitcoin kind of coming to a decision point and either going up or down, one of the two. So the up prediction was apparently correct. And by the time price hit this point right here, it was clear that it was going to head up. So that's an area where I could easily make some money because I had Bitcoin coming to a decision point and then going up or down. And the algos were very clear that it was going to go up right here. So easy way to make money for me. And I made that prediction going back to Sunday. So very, very accurate relatively. It went a little lower than I thought it would, or I should say the other way around. It didn't go as low as I thought it would, but it basically did what I said it was going to do. And this is how money is made in trading. You make predictions, you watch those predictions, the charts play out similar to what you said if you're eating good, and then you let the algorithms and the price action tell you how to trade it. We got some people talking on here. OMM, sweet. Thank you. Thanks for watching OMM. Oh, dude, what's up, man? I don't want to say your name, but thanks for coming on and watching. I was just talking to OMM there on private, and that's one of my we can say in real life buddies across the pond. Mick, good to have you on, my friend, down under. And then Mab Vet. Awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the indices. Unless you guys have cryptos that you want to see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a victory lap here. We're going to take a look at Monero. And there, I had two paths for Monero. And I actually predicted this out privately in the private live lab. And you can see my algos are calling the moves down very accurately. Those little red tabs, I had those coded. I developed that algo myself. Okay, so, and if I simply had traded and shorted those, I would have made a lot of money, which is typically what I do mostly in Forex, but I can do that in crypto should I want to. But I had Monero either going sideways and then up or sideways and then up. It just depended on where it was going to start from. And what it eventually did was it came back down to grab liquidity off of this multi-year consolidation going back to 2022. And it came back down, grabbed liquidity, tried to take off, got rejected, grabbed it again, and now appears to be heading up and taking off. Now we do have what appears to be a pretty clear range being built, relatively clear. I don't want to say it's that clear, but we could see Monero continue to bounce either between 167 and 230, or we could see it at the top of that prior range. And I'm thinking this is the most likely way that it's going to go from 180 to 230 back and forth until it's ready to pop off. Now understand that Bitcoin probably, and I'm not totally sure here, but probably is going to head up, right? It's probably going to break its highs in the next couple weeks, and we'll see what happens. We talked about this yesterday. Statistically, the last 9 years, Bitcoin has either made its high or its low in January of the year, right? One of the two. And statistically, going back in the bull markets, at least the last bull market, it made its low of the year in January, right? And it just took off from there. And of course, the following year we had the beginning of the bear market. But for now, Bitcoin itself, we're not looking at Bitcoin right now, but Bitcoin itself might be showing us the lows of the year and continue up. That's, I think, the more likely scenario, but nothing is set in stone. But right here, look at this. This is very accurate. Given that Monero would come down to this sort of $200 area, bounce around and head up, that's pretty darn accurate. And I predicted that back in, a month ago, right? Now, it did venture up, and then it headed back down. But this is pretty darn accurate. And anytime you can predict where price is going to be and where it's going to go, you can make money in this game. So come on over to algofactory.tech, and I can show you how I do this. We use price action, we use indicators, we do all the kind of classic stuff, but then we back it up with a little bit of math, and we don't have to do the math. You just have to know how to recognize patterns. We have other people do the math for us. And then every day, at least 4 days a week, I should say, Tuesday through Thursday, we have a live lab. We extend what we're doing here now live on YouTube for another 50 minutes. And people ask for charts, and it's stocks, it's crypto, it's Forex. I don't care. If there's a candlestick, I will chart it for you, and I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. So meantime, come to algofactory.tech, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. I love you all. Never forget.
Join us or die.